Hello everyone,
Hi.
welcome to the
Hi.
10th edition of Bengaluru International Short Film Festival. So, this is the roundtable with the filmmakers, and today we have filmmakers of Indian competition section. We have Mayura Tolas, director of Snakes and Ladders, and Tathagata Ghosh, director of Miss Man, and others will also be joining with us. So, we'll
Thank
start with both of you.
Yeah.
So, Mayura, when I read about you, this is your first film to direct, right? You're from a
Yes.
software background. So,
Right.
why cinema and why did you choose this particular story to start with?
Okay. So, filmmaking, I love storytelling. I'm a storyteller at heart. So, I have just chosen film as a medium to express myself, and I wanted to experiment on it and I wanted to explore it. So, I have chosen the form of short film. And about a subject, one day I saw an artifact at my friend's place, and I saw a cage and a bird sitting on that cage. And meanwhile, like we came across the lines by Umair Nazmi. निकाल लाया हूँ एक पिंजरे से एक परिंदा, अब उस परिंदे के दिल से पिंजरा निकालना है. So that was a trigger point, and this is how we started thinking about the concept. And then we like the story is about a freedom. It is about the uncertainty. It is about chance, and I decided to show that film from an adults and girls point of view, because it is a very personal opinion. I would say in my region I have most of the time seen that whenever the protagonist girl is an adolescent girl around 10-12 years, it is most of the time the film is about a sex education or menstruation. It is related to that. So I just wanted to see an 11-12 year old girl from a human point of view, just at a human level, and she could have her story, right? It's not mandatory always to look at girls from a very typical girl's point of view. So I have chosen that point of view. It could have been a story of a mother as well. So yeah, that's it. That was a trigger point, and that's how I like started this.
Very interesting. So, okay, we have Ramna also with us, director of Agony in Greenery Route. Hello, Ramna.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Welcome to the roundtable. So we'll continue with this. So Tathagata, you're already familiar with short films and filmmaking, everything. So why Miss Man? Why? So you've already shot a short film called The Demon.
Yeah.
So I think this is your second one, right?
Correct. That is true.
So why Miss Man?
Well, actually, the idea of Miss Man came to me a few years back. So it is actually based on the true story of a friend of mine who was forcefully married off by his parents when he came out to them. And we didn't know about this. We were not invited, and we didn't know then. And this was a time when Section 377 was very much, like present. It was not done away with. So it really made me helpless. It made me angry that I couldn't do much then. Of course, the marriage fell apart. But then a few years later, when those incidents started to haunt me, and I was kind of adamant that I have to tell this story, I decided to make the film. And then, of course, I worked for a year, saved money, and produced and funded the film myself, apart from writing and directing it. And that was the genesis of that idea. And also to see a lot of, read different incidents in the papers a few years back. Also, there was this suicide which happened in a village in Bengal, where a lesbian couple actually they committed they killed themselves, and it was a very tragic incident. And so I was really adamant and really sure that I want to tell this story because I had to, and I felt liberated by telling this story, and that's where Miss Man started. And then now I'm really grateful to share the film with the world.
Very interesting. So, Ram, I also read about you, and it was saying that you also have experience in filmmaking and everything. So, how did Agony in Greenery Route happened? Like, what was your thought
Yeah,
process, and how did it come to you?
yeah, ma'am. Can I speak Tamil?
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
யா ஓகேம்மா. ஆக்சுவலாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த மூவி வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் ஸ்டோரி தான். ஒரு நறுமணம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் ஸ்டோரி, ஒரு ரைட்டரோட ஸ்டோரி. அந்த ஸ்டோரி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த பெயின் அந்த ஸ்டோரிக்குள்ளே இருந்தது. இப்போ இதை வந்து நான் வந்து விஷுவலாக பண்ணணும், இதை எப்படி பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு பிளான் பண்ணுறப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து இந்த ஸ்கிரிப்ட் பிடிச்ச உடனே நான் ரைட்டர்கிட்ட பேசிட்டு இந்த ஸ்கிரிப்டை வந்து ஃபிலிம் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நானும் என்னோட கேமராமேனும் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுறப்போ இதை வந்து இந்த ஸ்கிரிப்டை நம்ம விஷுவல் பண்ணணும்னா இது ஃபுல் அண்ட் ஃபுல் விஷுவல் மேக்கிங்காக தான் இருக்கணும். அதாவது வந்து ஒவ்வொரு ஷாட்டுக்கும் ஒரு மீனிங்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கணும். அந்த லொக்கேஷனை வந்து ஆடியன்ஸ்க்கு வந்து விஷுவல் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு பிளான் பண்ணோம். அப்படி பிளான் பண்ணி தான் இந்த ஷார்ட் ஃபிலிம் உருவாச்சு.
So what Ram told us, when he sat with his director and when he sat with his writer and started to think about the story, they came up with the story and they wanted to do this visually. They wanted to show everyone this visually, and that's how the Agony in Greenery route happened. So
Wow.
Mayura, when I saw your movie, it was in a confined spaces, right? It is a home and shooting with kids, everything. How was your shooting experience?
Yeah, it was really a nice journey. Shooting experience was nice. Like, and while working with child actors, you know, I never looked at them like a child actors. Actually, they were the most sincere people on the set. They were very sincere and paying attention to each and every detail, whatever I was telling them. So actually, I learned a lot from them, being very sincere. So Pranjali, who played the protagonist, who played the role of Amrita, she is seriously a very good listener. She literally absorbed every single word I spoke. And she used to pay attention, whatever I'm narrating her, whatever brief I'm giving her just before the shots or anything. So she was with me all the time. And they prepaid, you know, both the kids, they were really dedicated to the film. I won't say they never behaved like child on set. They were like they were doing like they were enjoying and all that, that is okay, but they were being very sincere. So just before the shoot, maybe before 10-15 days, because Pranjali belonged to a good family, a privileged family, her parents are being very good to her. It is not like the role that she has played. So I asked her, I just want some uncomfort while shooting. So it has to be within you. And as she stays in my building only, so I just asked her, why don't you just stop watching TV? Because I know she really loves watching TV. She watch TV a lot. So I asked her, please don't watch TV for 15 days. So there will be some uncomfort, or she'll be little disturbed while shooting. And I wanted that she is not happy while shooting it. So I asked her one day that, don't do this. So that little one, Kaivalya, who came to me, he just overheard whatever we said and said, Didi, मी पण टीव्ही नको बघू. It was like, sis, like, Didi, should I even not watch the TV? So he was being that sincere. So the 6-year-old coming to me and asking, even I should not watch the TV or what? So it was the dedication was really well. And whenever I was little tense, whether I'd be able to finish up the schedule today or not, because this is my first encounter with filmmaking. I have never been to film school, or I have never been on film set actually. So this is the first film set I have been on. So these children really helped me to relax, de-stress. They used to hug me in between, so I can, I was very relaxed while shooting, and they were making me comfortable. Do you want to take a retake? So sometimes I used to feel like, for child actors, it could be demotivating to asking again and again for retakes or something. But then they just you to look at me and, I think we should take it one more time. Before I used to say that, they were like, okay, okay, let's do it again, and they were making me comfortable. So I really enjoyed working with both of them. They are just brilliant. And like, only the granny and the mother was a professional actor. Even the father was non-actor. So that was nice working with them.
Okay, very good to hear that. So Tathagata, when I watched your film, my first thought was, how did you do the casting? And how did you decide on your shooting spots, shooting locations, everything? So how did you do all those things? Because such movies, people tend to have a attraction towards it. So how did you do it?
Well, that's a great question, actually. So, and casting is everything for especially my film. Whatever the film has become, I owe it to my actors. Firstly, I think. Well, when I finished writing the script, I didn't have. I had, of course, certain cast in mind, apart from the protagonist, actually, which is eventually played by Orgo Adhikari, who has never acted before. Actually, this is the first time he acted in a film. Not even He has not even done any play, so it was very challenging, and that to carry a film like this on entirely on his shoulder. He prefers to use the pronoun he, so I'll use he on his shoulder, and it was really amazing. And so when I finished writing the script, I actually sent the script to one of my actors, Pyle, who actually played the character of the sex worker Jim Lee in Miss Man. So when I sent it to her, she said she read the script, and she said that all right, this is really interesting, but who is playing the protagonist? Who's the lead character? And I said that I don't know yet. I'm still looking for the right cast. And then she said that I had actually someone in mind whom I want to recommend for this character. Just see if you like him. So I said that okay, shoot. And then Pyle sends me the image of Orgo from the Kolkata Pride Walk last year, 2018, and there was the image of Orgo with the wings on behind his ears, which is actually in the poster of our film. And then he was just lifting up his head. It was a small video, actually. And once I saw that, I knew that this was the protagonist. This is Mano, the central character of the film. I have to get this guy on board. And so I asked Pyle to reach out to him. I got his number. I called him up, and he was a little bit apprehensive at the beginning because he's a school teacher, as I said, and he has, of course, he works on the weekdays. So he's like that. I don't know if I'll be able to do the film. I have never acted before, except for one small theater workshop that he did with Pyle, from where she knows actually Orgo. But I said that read the script, listen to the script, and then you decide. Just let us have a chat. And so he came down to my place one day, and I read out the script to him. And after the script reading was over, the first thing that he said to me that, "How did you know my story? This is me from 5 years back." And boom, that was it. And it felt very autobiographical to him in many places, and that's how he was invested and interested to be a part of this film. And once he came on board, the whole dynamics of the film changed. Actually, if you read the script, it was very linear, and it was a very different structure of the film, what we see now in the final cut. So once Orgo came on board, actually that changed. He gave me a lot of visual idea. Just sitting down with him, chatting with him for hours. It was a brilliant experience. I'll never forget. I learned so much about myself. I learned the fact that tomorrow, if someone asks me that what is your sexual preference, I can always say that gender is fluid, because ultimately my film starts with this quote that love does not happen between a man and a woman, but between love and love, and that is what it should be. Gender is just, like something which society has created. I feel that it should not be restricted between that. So that is what our film explores. And Orgo really changed me as a person as well. And also the casting of Ratrish, the trans woman mentor character, who is also very important in the film. She was also very pivotal in giving a lot of ideas for the dialogue, for the character that she played. So I think I've always believed that if I'm making a film on the queer community or any minority, as a matter of fact, in our country, sadly, I have to really make them a part of my film. There have to be inclusive. I really have to cast members from the queer community to represent themselves, and not let a heterosexual male represent a queer character, because I feel that it's more authentic. And that's why actually many times it didn't feel like Orgo was acting. He was living his own life from 5 years back. So it almost felt like I was shooting a documentary. There was actual pain and agony within him that the character is supposed to emote. So I feel that was why it kind of it just flowed very, very, very mellifluously, and it was incredible experience working with the cast. And casting is very central. And I was very sure that if I don't get the right cast, I won't make the film.
True. I agree with you. Argo did not seem like he has not acted before, and all other cast also. They did it because
Yeah.
making such such this thing, it's difficult because first thing is making them agree to whatever you have thought. So whatever your script
Absolutely.
was, so that
Absolutely.
is,
And I would actually give a shout out to this young boy also, Riddhish, who played the younger version of the
yeah,
protagonist, younger self. It was very kind of him because I think kudos to his parents because the way they are bringing up their child. Because when I approached them, I thought that being coming from a conservative Bengali middle class background, they might reject that my son won't be part of a queer film. But I was blown away when I told his mother that this is the film. Well, I don't want to hide anything from you. This is the film your son is going to be a part of, and this is the character that he's going to play. And the moment I told her, she said that I was a big fan of Rituparna Ghosh, the great Bengali filmmaker. So just go ahead and take my son as your younger brother and work with him. Do whatever you want. So this trust that she placed on me really inspired me a lot. And all of the cast, like some of them I have worked before also. If you see the Demon, three of the cast, Bimal, who played Orgo's lover, Payal, who played the protagonist's wife in the Demon, she was there as a sex worker in this film. And of course, who played the protagonist in Demon, Shomo, he was also there in a brief scene in the film. So all of them, these are I know that when I'm making an independent film with my own resources, with my own little resources, I have to get the casting right because I like to be a homely atmosphere. I cannot let someone enter the set and tell me what to do because I have to be in control of the film entirely. So casting is very crucial, and I feel that sometimes what the great thing about at least my film, and I know many other people, even I'm sure for Mayura's film also or for Ramna's film also, the cast also did some of the production work as well. When they were not acting, they were helping the crew with the trolley, with the lights, with the camera, whatever it is. And I think this lack of ego, because you have to put your ego outside the door when you enter the set, I think this is very important. So that's why casting plays a greater role in getting your team right. So yeah.
true, completely agree to that. So Ram, same goes to you. When I saw your film, my first thought again came to the older people. How did you get them on board and how did you make them talk? I mean, so fluently, everything like to the camera. How did you make them do that?
யா இப்போ அந்த மூவியில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த இன்ஜினியரோட அசிஸ்டன்ஸ் அவங்க வந்து ப்ரொஃபஷனல் ஆர்டிஸ்ட். அவங்கள நான் சென்னையில இருந்து நான் அழைச்சிட்டு போயிட்டேன். அந்த கப்புள்ஸ், அந்த கிராண்ட் ஃபாதர் கிராண்ட் மதர், அவங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க தே டோன்ட் நோ கேமரா. அவங்களுக்கு என்னன்னே தெரியாது, ஆக்டிங்னா என்னன்னு தெரியாது, எதுவுமே தெரியாது. அவங்க ஒரு வில்லேஜில் இருக்கக்கூடிய சாதாரண ஃபார்மர்ஸ். அவங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஆடு மாடு மேய்க்கிறது, இதுதான் அவங்களோட ஜாப். நான் அந்த ரியல் கப்புள், அவங்க ரெண்டு பேருமே ரியல் ஹஸ்பண்ட் அண்ட் ஒய்ஃப். அவங்கள வந்து நான் இந்த மூவியில் ஆக்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி டெஸ்ட் பண்ணி அவங்க வந்து ஓகே சரி இவங்க தான் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு சொல்லி நான் ஃபைனல் பண்ணிட்டேன். இதுக்கிடையில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு வந்து டயலாக்ஸ்லாம் கொடுத்தா கரெக்டாக வராது. அவங்க அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி பேசுறது தான் ஸ்க்ரீனில் பண்ண முடியும். இன்னொன்று பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நான் லைவ்னு முடிவு பண்ணிட்டேன். அதாவது வந்து டப்பிங் வேலைக்கு ஆகாது, அவங்கள வச்சு நம்ம டப்பிங் போக முடியாது அப்படின்றனால லைவ் அப்படின்னு முடிவு பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்காக சில ஷார்ட்ஸில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ரியாக்ஷன்ஸ் நல்லா இருக்கும், ஆனால் டயலாக்ல வந்து கொஞ்சம் மிஸ்டேக் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. சில ஷார்ட்ஸ் டயலாக்ஸ் நல்லா இருக்கும், ரியாக்ஷன் ரொம்ப தான் இருக்கும். இதெல்லாம் அவங்களுக்கு அதை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி நான் அந்த ப்ராஜெக்டை வந்து மூவ் பண்ண முடிஞ்சு. இன்னொன்று பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க ப்ராக்டிக்கலாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க வந்து எனக்கு வந்து ரெகுலராக ஷூட்டிங் அவங்க வர முடியாது. அவங்க வந்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஆடு மாடு இதெல்லாம் மேய்க்கணும், அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கணுன்றனால என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா மார்னிங் வந்து அவங்க ஒரு ஷெட்யூல் பிரிச்சுருவாங்க. 6 to 12 வந்து அவங்க அதை மேய்க்க போயிடுவாங்க. மேய்ச்சிட்டு ஆஃப்டர்நூன் லஞ்சுக்கு அப்புறம் நான் போய் அவங்களை பிக்கப் பண்ணிட்டு வந்துடுவேன். என்னோட அசிஸ்டன்ஸ் போய் பிக்கப் பண்ணிட்டு வந்துருவாங்க. ஈவினிங் அவங்களோட ஷார்ட்ஸ் ஃபுல்லாகவே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நான் வந்து ஈவினிங் தான், ஏன்னா அது அந்த டியூரேஷனும் ஈவினிங் தான், சன் செட் ஆகிற டைமில் தான் அந்த சீன்ஸ் வந்து கன்வே பண்ணணுன்றக்காக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் ஆஃப்டர் லஞ்சுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் அவங்கள கூப்பிட்டு வந்து அவங்களுக்கு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணி நான் இந்த ஷார்ட் ஃபிலிமை நான் அப்படி தான் எடுக்க முடிஞ்சு. ஆனால் ரியலி குட், அவங்க ரொம்ப பெர்ஃபார்ம் சூப்பராக பண்ணாங்க, எனக்கு நல்லா கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ணாங்க, நல்லா வந்துருச்சு.
So what Ram told is he made those older people understand what is the film about, just not making them sit and read and go through, because I don't think they can read also so well. So making them understand and making them act to the camera is what he did. That he was giving schedules and time for them to understand and go through whatever he had given, and then made them act to the camera. So coming back to Mayura, how many days did you take to shoot your film?
Actually, I had planned for 5 days. I completed that schedule, but on the last day, I couldn't finish up my outdoor shooting, so I had to plan one more day. So it was a total of 6 days shooting.
Okay. So same goes to both of you. How many days did you take to shoot your films?
So Miss Man took 4 days of shoot, and I was shooting since I was also working on the weekdays. I shot only on weekends, and I think it's good that I shot only on weekends in a way because for the rest of the week I could look at the rushes and check whether some shots are working or not. If I make any mistake, I can just improve on that or correct on that. Though we're shooting in different location, I feel that it's very important that we get like the shots right. So it was good that we could have shoot on weekends and have the time to retrospect and kind of think how where we went wrong and how is it going. So yeah.
So Ram,
யா இப்போ எனக்கு ஷூட்டிங் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 5 days தான் வந்துச்சு. ஆனால் ஷூட்டிங்க்கு முன்னாடி ப்ரீ ப்ரொடக்ஷனில் லொக்கேஷன்ஸ் மட்டுமே நான் வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 8 days மேலே நான் சர்ச் பண்ணேன். நானும் என்னோட கேமராமேனும் 2-wheeler தான் 2 பேரும் தான் சர்ச் பண்ணோம். நான் இந்த படத்தில் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த முன்னாடி வந்து அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் லேண்டு லேக்கு இது எல்லாமே ஒவ்வொரு லொக்கேஷனுக்கும் எனக்கு ஒரு 8 kilometers 10 kilometers கேப் இருந்துச்சு. நான் ஒரு லொக்கேஷனில் ஒரு 2 ஷாட் 3 ஷாட் பிளான் பண்ணால் அடுத்த லொக்கேஷனுக்கு நான் ஷிஃப்ட் ஆகணும். அதனால நான் லொக்கேஷனுக்கே கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 500-600 kilometers மேலே 2-wheeler ஜேர்னி பண்ணி தான் அந்த லொக்கேஷன்ஸ் நான் வந்து சர்ச் பண்ணேன். அதே மாதிரி ஆஃப்டர் ஷூட்டிங் நான் எல்லா க்ரூவையும் வந்து நான் சென்னைக்கு பேக்கப் பண்ணிட்டு நானும் என்னோட சவுண்ட் இன்ஜினியர் மட்டும் இருந்து லைவ் சவுண்ட் திருப்பி ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணோம். ஏன்னா நீங்கள் மூவி ஃபுல்லாகவே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு விண்ட் நாய்ஸ் ஃபுல்லாக ஃபாலோ ஆகும், பேர்ட் சவுண்டு இதெல்லாமே நான் வந்து அடுத்த நாள் பிளான் பண்ணி போய் 2 பேர் மட்டும் போய் நானும் என்னோட சவுண்ட் இன்ஜினியர் மட்டும்தான் அந்த சவுண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணோம். எனக்கு ஆல் ஓவர் இந்த படம் முடிச்சு நான் எனக்கு வெறிய அவுட் எடுக்கவே 20 days கிட்ட ஆயிடுச்சு.
So he told that he took 5 days for shooting and his pre-production was 8 days. So after shooting he had to go for the live sound recording, everything. So completely he took 20 days to complete his film. So this question is for all three of you. What is your inspiration to do cinema, to come into this field or to do films? What is your inspiration?
Mayura, I think go first.
Okay.
Mayura, you can start.
Yes. For me, filmmaking is a process where there are a lot of things involved, and every day you can do something new, and there are a lot of aspects involved in one art form. So I loved it, and storytelling. I love storytelling. So filmmaking and storytelling it goes hand in hand. So I have chosen filmmaking. And working with people, like I'm a kind of person who loves to be surrounded by people. So in the filmmaking process you get to meet a lot of people. They're from different background, they're having different skill set, they come to your set with their enthusiasm, their energy, and that is interesting. So when you just think of an idea and you think to work on it, you write it down and you thought to execute it, and a lot of people coming together for something that you have dreamed. So you have dreamed it. So that is interesting. So I love filmmaking, and as this was my first experience, I really enjoyed it. Now I would maybe I would work again. I liked it. So that whole journey was interesting because I never knew what the art direction means or anything. But still, whatever I had in my mind about that story, I kept working on it, and it eventually happened. I never knew that this is costume designing or this is art direction, but it just happened with the flow and the process, and I liked it. That was an enriching experience. I learned a lot.
That is good to hear, that you loved what you made or what you were doing. That is very important when you're doing something. So Tathagata, what is your inspiration?
Well, I think the biggest inspiration for me was when I discovered Satyajit Ray, because I think he's from my city and one of the greatest filmmakers ever. And of course, Satyajit Ray was not only a filmmaker, but initially, before a filmmaker, we were introduced to Mr. Ray as a writer of short stories for children. And he wrote some great Bengali literature. I mean, detective stories and science fiction. So we read that, and I read that, and I saw his children's films, Feluda, Gupiga and Baghabain, The Kingdom of Diamonds, Hirok Raja Deshe, and all those classics. So I was very, very drawn to Satyajit Ray, and he has been a huge influence till now, obviously. Be it the way I design sound or the way I design shots, frame, characters, because Satyajit Ray was a humanist as well. And also for me, studying, understanding human beings and understanding the relation of human beings to the world is something that I'm very interested in, invested in. That is why I try to explore through my cinema as well. So I think Satyajit Ray was a big inspiration. It started from there. But then actually when I was in class, when I was in actually in class 10, and I was I of course got admitted to with pure sciences in class 11, and I wanted to be a mathematician initially. And I was very drawn to number theory and do research on prime numbers, and that was a big interest because I was very inspired also by Srinivas Ramanujan and his life. So, but then actually in class 11, when I started, we started actually, me and some of my friends started this little magazine called Shornoporni, which means golden leaves. And it was a little magazine which got published with a gap of 3 months. So we did around 3-4 editions, and also published during the time of book fair, and it got good response. So I used to write from even from early age, and I was actually very drawn to writing short stories, and I used to take lessons of classical painting from an early age. So when little magazine was getting published, I was actually illustrating some of the stories apart from writing the stories, a few of the stories. And then one day I thought that when I'm illustrating this, why don't I try to film it? I like the way I'm sketching, and let me and those days actually DSLRs were not there, so it was like only Handycam, which was used mostly to shoot marriage ceremonies. So I actually tried rent this little Handycam from an uncle of mine and went and shot it. It became nothing because it was very, like it was kind of like a very whimsical decision. But I was bitten by the bug to make films then, and I think it started from there, to tell stories through images. And then of course in the coming years it has like only increased, and I learned also filmmaking from St. Xavier's College, where I studied mass communication videography, and later on in Canada, where I went to study writing. And then I mean, just discovering work of great filmmakers, and remain inspired by other people's works. And I saw both the films in Agony, Greenery, and Snakes and Ladders, and I was so inspired watching the films. So I mean, when you watch films of your fellow filmmakers and you kind of understand the themes that they're trying to explore, it is amazing. And that actually, so I get inspired by very little things in life, and I try to learn from whatever I see. And so that has been my journey actually.
So Ram, how about you?
மேம் ஆக்சுவலாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எனக்கு இன்ஸ்பயர்னா ஃபஸ்ட்டு சொன்னீங்கன்னா என்னோட பேரண்ட்ஸ் தான், அம்மா அப்பா தான். என்னன்னா நாங்கள் சைல்ட்ஹுட்டாக இருக்கப்போ, சின்ன பிள்ளையா இருக்கப்போ எங்கள் வீட்டில் டிவி கிடையாது. ஏன்னா ஸ்டடீஸ் வந்து பாதிக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்க டிவி வந்து வாங்கலை. அப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க வந்து அப்பா வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எம்ஜிஆரோட ஃபேன், அம்மா வந்து ஆப்போசிட் சிவாஜியோட ஃபேன். அவங்க வந்து எங்களுக்கு என்னென்னா சின்ன பிள்ளையில எங்களோட ஒரே என்டர்டைன்மெண்ட் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்டோரி சொல்கிறது தான். அவங்க நிறைய ஸ்டோரி சொல்லுவாங்க, அதெல்லாம் நாங்கள் கேட்டுக்குவோம். எனக்கு வந்து ஸ்டோரி கேட்கறது ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்டாக இருக்கும். அப்போ அம்மா வந்து ஒரு ஸ்டோரி சொல்லுவாங்க, அப்புறம் அப்பாட்ட போய் கேட்போம், அப்பா ஒரு ஸ்டோரி சொல்லுவாங்க. நான் கொஞ்ச நாள் வளர்ந்ததுக்கப்புறம், பெரிய ஆள் ஆனதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க சொன்ன ஸ்டோரிஸ் எல்லாமே மூவிஸோட ஸ்டோரிஸ் தான். அம்மா வந்து சிவாஜியோட படங்கள்லாம் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க, அப்பா வந்து எம்ஜிஆரோட படங்கள்லாம் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. இப்போ நான் சின்ன பிள்ளைல அவங்க கதை சொல்றப்ப நான் இமேஜின் பண்ணி விஷுவல் இமேஜின் பண்ணுவேன். அந்த இமேஜினுக்கும் அங்கே போய் பார்க்கறதுக்கும், ஏன்னா எம்ஜிஆரோட ஸ்டோரிஸ் எல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 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 கிங்டமோட ஸ்டோரி, ராஜாவோட ஸ்டோரி, அது மாதிரியா இருக்கும். அப்போ அதை இமேஜின் பண்ணி விஷுவலாக பார்க்குறப்போ அது இன்னும் எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு ரொம்ப நிறைய விஷயங்களை கற்றுக்கக்கூடியதா, எனக்கு என்ன இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சு. அப்போ தான் எனக்கு வந்து மூவி மேலே இன்ஸ்பயர் ஆயிடுச்சு. அப்போ நிறையா படங்கள் பார்க்க ஆரம்பித்தேன். அப்புறம் நான் என்னோட யூஜி முடிச்சோடனே நான் வந்து இது மாதிரி ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு தான் போக போகிறேன் அப்படின்னு அலோவ் பண்ணல. இருந்தாலும் நான் வந்து சென்னையில் எம்ஜிஆர் கவர்மெண்ட் ஃபிலிம் இன்ஸ்டியூட், அங்கே வந்து நான் சேர்ந்து FTITயில் படிக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அப்ளை பண்ணி எனக்கு சீட் கிடைச்ச உடனே தான் அதுக்கப்புறம் சரி ஓகேன்னு சொல்லி எனக்கு அங்கே ஜாயின் பண்ணாங்க. நான் இன்ஸ்டியூட்டில் ஜாயின் பண்ணுறதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் பிஹைண்ட் த ஸ்க்ரீன் எவ்வளோ ஒர்க் இருக்குது, வாட் இஸ் சினிமா அப்படின்றதெல்லாம் நாங்கள் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணேன். அங்கே தான் நான் வந்து வேர்ல்டு கிளாசிக் மியூசிக், பதேர் பாஞ்சலி, பென்ஹர், ரன்ரோலோ ரன், நிறையா படங்கள் ஒரு மூவி எப்படி பண்ணணும், அது என்ன ஜேர்னலில் பண்ணணும், ஒரு ஆர்டிஸ்ட் எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணணும், டெக்னிக் எப்படி யூஸ் பண்ணணும், எப்படி கன்வே பண்ணணும் அப்படின்றது நிறைய விஷயங்கள் நான் அங்கே தான் ஃபிலிம் இன்ஸ்டியூட்டில் தான் நான் கற்றுக்கிட்டேன். ஆஃப்டர் மை ஸ்டடீஸ் நான் அப்புறம் வெளியே வந்து நிறையா ஸ்டோரிஸ் படிக்கிறது, ஃபியூச்சர் ஃபிலிமில் அசிஸ்டன்ட் டைரக்டராக ஒர்க் பண்ணேன். அப்படி பண்ணி என்னோட செகண்ட் ஷார்ட் ஃபிலிம் தான் இந்த படம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் படம் கொற்றவைன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இன்னொரு படம்.
So for the gist of that, his inspiration is his parents, because whatever their stories he used to listen when he was a child, that is what is giving him ideas today. And he also told that when he went to the film school, that is when he got to know what is cinema, because until then they didn't have TV or any source for the films. So after coming to his film school, he understood what is cinema and what is the difficulties behind the camera, what is pre-production, what is post-production, all these things. So that is what his comment on it. So we will have questions from our audience now. Do we have any question? Okay, we have one. Okay, question for Tathagata. How did you convince the characters? Were the actors apprehensive?
Well, thanks, Shailesh. No, the actors were not actually at all apprehensive, because I think that is where I really got lucky. Apart from Orgo, who came on board, of course, because he wanted to tell his own story in a way, and because he's such an active member of the community as well. The other actors I have actually worked with also before. Like if I say, for instance, Bimal, who plays one of the central characters, or be it Pyle, or Manoj Michigan, who is actually a director himself. It was amazing because they all trusted me as a person, and that's why they were not apprehensive. They knew that I won't show them in any light or tell a story which actually they won't believe in, because it comes from the place that we know each other so well, that the trust is so much on each other that there is no question of apprehension at all, because ultimately they want to be a part. We actually, when we make a film, we say that we are actually having our little Durga Puja, like we are having a festival in ourselves, celebrating on the set, celebrating life, celebrating humanity, telling a story together. So it was just a part of this joyride. Of course, and ups and downs were there, and but it was mostly, it was a lot of fun. And I think I always make sure that those who believe in my script, they only be a part of it. Like I have had episodes in the past where there was one key crew member said that I don't quite relate to the script, relate to what is happening in the script. Not this one, a previous film. So I said that then I think we should not work on this. It's not about the friendship getting wasted or something like that. It's just that then you will not bring anything to the plate yourself as an artist, as a contributor, as a collaborator. So I make sure that everyone is on the same page with me, more or less, and we kind of also try to understand each other. And mostly I also try to have their feedback in the film as well. So I think it's a very family atmosphere in my sets, and I think it's just incredible how we come together and make a film. So it's really amazing. So there was no question of apprehension at all. They all believed in me as a person, as a human being, and I think that made it worthwhile, and it was a cakewalk actually.
Good to hear that. So do we have any more question? Okay, we have one more question from Anand Varadaraj. Question for Mayura Dolas. The trauma of a young girl is beautifully shown. The girl has acted very well. How did you tell her about the story? It's very difficult to explain abuse to a young girl.
Oh, like Pranjali stays in my building, so she was very accessible to me. And I mentioned earlier that she's a very sincere girl. She has given me a lot of time, like almost 2-3 months. I was rehearsing with her, and the place where we shot, like almost a 90% shoot is inside. So we rented out that place for a couple of months. So I was working with her at that place. So literally, like she knew the plot. I explained her each and every film. So she was the only person on the set who is having a complete idea what's going on in my mind. She understood me very well. Then, before the shoot and while in our rehearsals, I plotted a graph with her explaining each and every scene, what are her emotions, because we are not going to shoot in a in the sequential manner, right? So I have plotted a graph with her about Amrita's emotion, and then I used to remind her, it is that point in our graph. So just before the shot, I just used to refer it, this is where you are right now. And she's sincere, it was nice working with her.
Good to hear that, because
I understand that it is difficult for her to, because she is a kind of girl who is not like Amrita, because her lifestyle is different than what she has played the character of, because the character is from 90s period, and nowadays the children are very open. They are getting access to everything that they want. So it was little difficult for her, and she had questions, why it is like this, why father is behaving like this, why I can't watch TV. So she used to ask me such questions, why are they doing like this, why is he behaving like this. So yeah, she questioned me. So that happened in some initial days, but later on she really understood the story well, and I liked it.
true, we could completely see that how she has, by what
Yeah,
you are
she
telling,
has given a
I can
lot of
say that
time, and
how
real
she
she,
has completely, yeah, transformed.
yeah.
Yeah, you were saying something.
Yeah, she has really given lot of time, and she was very punctual and sincere in her rehearsals. So she knew the place, and how and what emotions are, what is she supposed to do. Sometimes she used to explain it to Kaivalya as well. We are here now, don't make noise, don't laugh. uh, the Kaivalya is her younger brother who played Samir's character.
Okay, so I think we have one last question for the session. Okay, to Ram. Sorry, I joined late. Was this a true incident? The rural Tamil culture is very strong, and are you showing this film in rural areas to make them understand about the situation?
Yeah, ஆமா, இது இது ரூரல்ல வந்து இந்த மாதிரி நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு. இப்போ இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா 8 வே சாலைன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சென்னை டு சேலம் அதுல வந்து இப்போ கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து அலாட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. இப்போ அது வந்து ஹைகோர்ட்ல ஸ்டே வாங்கி அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் நின்றுட்டு இருக்கு. இப்போ எனக்கு இந்த இந்த ஸ்டோரியை வந்து நான் ஸ்க்ரீன் பண்ணணும், இதை விஷுவலா பண்ணணுன்ற இன்ஸ்பயரே வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு நியூஸ் தான். அந்த நியூஸ்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 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 சின்ன குழந்தை, ஐ திங்க் 10th 12th படிக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு பொண்ணு வந்து அவங்களோட லேண்டை வந்து அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் லேண்டை வந்து ஸ்டாஃப்ஸ்லாம் வந்து அளக்க வராங்க. அப்போ அந்த பொண்ணு வந்து அலோ பண்ணல, ஏன்னா அளக்க கூடாதுன்னு சொல்றாங்க. அவங்க அதையும் மீறி அளக்க போறாங்க. அப்போ அந்த பொண்ணு என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா பிளேட் எடுத்து அவளோட நெக்கை வந்து கட் பண்ணிக்கிறான். அது பெரிய நியூஸா இங்க வந்துச்சு. அப்போ எனக்கு வந்து அவளோட ஓன் லேண்ட், அவ வந்து அவளோட ரைட்ஸ்க்காக அவ வந்து ப்ரொடெஸ்ட் பண்றான். எனக்கு அது என்னடா இவ்வளவு தூரம் வந்து ஒரு அவளோட அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் லேண்ட் மேல அவருக்கு ஒரு லவ் அப்படின்றது. இதை வந்து நம்ம எங்கேயாவது ஒரு இடத்துல வந்து நம்ம வந்து விஷுவல் பண்ணணும், இது சம்பந்தமான ஒரு மெசேஜ் வந்து நம்ம வந்து மூவியா மேக் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு எனக்கு தோணுச்சு. இன்னொன்று பேசிக்கா பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நான் வந்து என்னோட அப்பா அம்மா வந்து ஒரு விவசாயி தான். எங்களுக்கு நிறைய அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் லேண்ட்லாம் இருக்கு. அதுதான் என்னோட பர்த்டே, என்னோட இதுதான். இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு விவசாய நிலம்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா அதை வந்து ஈஸியா வந்து யாருமே வந்து மேட் பண்ணிட முடியாது. அதுக்கு ஏகப்பட்ட ப்ராசஸ் இருக்கு. ஒரு நார்மல் லேண்டை வந்து நீங்க அக்ரிகல்ச்சருக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி நீங்க வந்து அதை ரெடி பண்ணணும்னா அதுக்கு ஏகப்பட்ட ப்ராசஸ் இருந்தாதான் அது வந்து அக்ரிகல்ச்சர் லேண்டா அது சேஞ்ச் ஆகும். அதே மாதிரி பாத்தீங்கன்னா நான் விஷுவல் பண்ணதும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா அக்ரிகல்ச்சர்ல பல வெரைட்டி இருக்கு. இப்போ ஒரே நாள்ல வந்து எக்ஸ்போஸ் ஆகக்கூடாது. இப்போ நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா வெஜிடபிள்ஸ் எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரே நாள்ல வந்து அதை போய் மார்க்கெட் பண்ணிடணும், இல்லாட்டி அது யூஸ் கிடையாது, அது வேஸ்டேஜ் தான். அதே மாதிரி ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு நாள்லயே அதை வந்து பறிச்சு கொண்டு போய் மார்க்கெட்ல பண்ணிடணும், இல்லாட்டி அதுவும் நாட் யூஸ். சில இது பாத்தீங்கன்னா 3 months 4 monthsக்காக வெயிட் பண்ணணும். இப்போ பலாப்பழம் அதில் விஷுவல் பண்ணியிருப்போம். அதெல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 3 months 4 months பர் இயர்க்கு ஒரு தடவை தான் அதை வந்து நம்ம வந்து கெயின் பண்ண முடியும். இந்த மாதிரி பல விஷயங்கள் இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி அந்த வேர்ல போய் வந்து ஆணி அடிப்பான், அந்த இன்ஜினியர் சொல்லுவார் அதில் இது மார்க் பண்ண அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவார். அந்த மரம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அது பல ஜென்ரேஷனை பார்த்துருக்கோம். ஒரு மரம் இல்லாட்டி எவ்வளோ 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 தீங்கு நடக்கும்னு நமக்கு தெரியும். ஆனா அவங்க ஈஸியா அவங்கள ரோட் வரணும்னு இருக்கா. அதாவது வந்து ரோட் வந்து கண்டிப்பா டெவலப்மெண்ட் இஸ் மஸ்ட், அது வரணும், நான் இல்லைன்னு நான் சொல்ல வர்றது. ஆனா அதுக்காக நம்ம எவ்வளவு இழக்க வேண்டியது இருக்கு. அந்த மரத்துல அவன் போய் ஈஸியா ஆன் அடிக்கிறான். அந்த மரம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 300-200 இயர்ஸ்க்கு ஏஜா இருக்கலாம், 100 இயர்ஸ்க்கு மேல ஏஜா இருக்கலாம், பல ஜென்ரேஷன் பார்த்ததா இருக்கலாம். ஆனா ஒரு சின்ன விஷயத்துக்காக அதை டிஸ்ட்ராக்ட் பண்றாங்க. இப்படி பல விஷயங்கள் மாறி வர்றது தான் நான் பதிவு பண்ணதான் இந்த பசுமை வெளிச்சாங்க.
So what he said is half is a true story, and half of his is what he felt about it. So when we take what he told, according to him, uh, this story came from a news where a girl committed suicide for the reason that is there in the movie, because a schoolgirl, a 10th or 12th standard girl who committed suicide, and because of that he got this idea of doing this film, and also to show that this is a major problem in the rural India, where uh, people come and just put roads wherever they want, and they don't think about people who are there on if they are living there from a very long time, or they don't care about the plans, everything. So that is what he wanted to give a message to everybody, that this still happens. So I think we have
மேம்
more questions. Can we
மேம்
please
ஒன்று
tell.
அது மேம் அந்த பொண்ணு சூசைட் பண்ணல மேம், ஜஸ்ட் வந்து ப்ரொடெஸ்ட் பண்றாங்க. அதாவது நெக்கை கட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க பிளேடை வச்சு, பிளட் ப்ளீட் ஆகுது, ஆனா அதுக்குள்ள அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க, சூசைட் பண்ணல.
Okay. Sorry for the miscommunication. The girl was just cut her neck with the blade,
Yeah.
and it was bleeding. It was only that she did not commit suicide. Okay, I think we have more questions. Are you comfortable to take them?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Can we have the questions? Okay, Anand Varadaraj asked to Tathagata Ghosh, a very brave story and congrats that it is received very well in many festivals. In India, we are just opening about talking about one's sexuality, but the society is still closed on this topic. What are the reactions for the film when you do screenings in public?
Well, thanks, Anand. First of all, thanks for the kind words, and for this incredible festival, for bringing so many filmmakers together under one roof. Really means a lot. And well, I mean, you're absolutely right that though Section 377 has been abolished in this country, we are actually still not very open about talking. We're not very open talking about these things in public often. But I feel that the landscape is changing. I feel that now, especially because of the pandemic, since many people are inside their homes with their families, many of them, of the members, might be homophobic. They are again becoming closeted. So that is something for which films need to be made, and a festival like this is very important because it talks about themes, and it can sensitize people who are not sensitive towards the cause. When the screening, when we are screening the film, and we have had several screenings of the film before, I think the reactions has been overwhelming. I will give you one instance, which actually happened, which I saw in front of my own eyes. So one of my uncles, whom I know was homophobic actually, I showed it to him, the film, last year, and I didn't tell him that what the film was about, and what the story that the film is going to tell. I just played the film on my laptop and let him watch it. And when the film got over, I actually could see him lost absolutely in his own world, and he just silently said to me that these guys go through a lot of pain. The characters, they went through a lot of pain, and I could see that he has become sensitive towards the journey of the character, and that is a triumph for me. I think that is why I realized that as a filmmaker, I am very responsible. I am very, I have actually what I believed in. I want to become the voice of the voiceless, and that is what I have been doing. Because many people who cannot express themselves through cinema, through music, through painting, whatever, any art form, I am actually doing that job for them. So it is very responsible for me. So people who are not from the community also, they have been so engrossed in the journey of the character as a film, that in the garb of the film, in the garb of cinema, I have actually introduced them to this cause, to these themes, which they should learn, which they should take back, which will actually make them progressive in life, to actually be accepting. The film talks about love, acceptance, the way we are, and I feel this will the whole gender politics that is shown in the film is very pivotal. And from the community, if I say from the LGBTQIA community, in India and across the world, the reactions have been overwhelming. Every screening, there have been sometimes standing ovation, grand ovation. It has been incredible because people have actually come up to me, many trans women. There was a screening in we did, and where one trans woman walked up to me, gave me a hug, and said that thank you for telling a story from rural India. Because usually many of the stories are not about people from the rural India, because our character is from rural India and he travels to the city, to Calcutta for sex change operation. So thank you for telling that story. So I feel that that is what the film has been doing. So the community members have been very accepting of the film, and they have actually shown so much love and support to the film, and I have really I cannot be more thankful. So the reactions have overwhelmingly very overwhelming, and people have reciprocated to the character, to the themes that we are trying to tell, and didn't take it any otherwise. So it was absolutely incredible. The reactions have been great so far, and even at the screening of Bangalore International Short Film Festival, also so many people have seen the film already, and we are getting great response about different subject, not only aspects of the film, of the technical aspects of the film, but about the characters. Everyone is praising the protagonist's acting as well, Orgo's acting, which really makes me happy because he actually is an inspiration to many people from the community, and so that they can actually step out and come out and not be not hold back themselves from embracing their sexuality, their gender, and themselves as human beings. So yeah.
Interesting to hear that, Tathagata. So we'll take the one last question for the session today. Can we have it? Okay, it is from Shailesh. Oh. Yeah. Mayura, what is your message to people who are in a relationship like you have depicted in the films? A dominant father.
I would say don't behave like this with your children. Uh, but I would like to tell just don't behave like this. It have a lot of impact on the child, and it eventually have some effect on their life in long term, in long run. It is not just about a childhood, but when you miss on your childhood, you miss on a lot of things, because your future is always connected to your past, and your present is also connected to your past, so the dots connect. And when you really miss on the childhood memories and you don't have a good past, you won't have a good future. I mean, you can be at a good level and all that, like maybe financially and technically and education wise you will be at a good position, but then the heart, the memories, the people are full of memories, and that is humanity. So if you don't have good childhood, you will miss on something. So don't behave like this. I don't want this to happen.
Thank you, Mayura. That was really an important message to all the parents. So we have come to the end of the session. So thank you so much, everyone. All of you,
Thank you.
we loved your films. It was
Thank you so much.
really entertaining and message giving. And please watch all other films in our festival and leave your comments and encourage filmmakers. And thank you so much.
Yeah, I really liked
Thank
Oru
you.
Single Room. I was hoping that Vishnu will join today. I wanted to give the feedback. I have mentioned my feedback on the site as well, but I really liked that film.
Uh, sure, we will let him know that you liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, even I have put on the review. It's just sharp start. I love the film and the perfect title.
True, true.
In the possible shortest duration, he has really expressed well. I like that film.
We hope we had him on this session, but unfortunately he was not there. It's okay. So thank you so much, all of
Thank you.
you. It
Yeah.
was
Thank you.
really
Thank you.
indeed. I was very happy talking
Thanks
to all of
to
you.
And congratulations to Bangalore International Short Film Festival once again, to everyone involved, to all the filmmakers who shared their films. I think film festivals like this is very important, not only because in term to represent our Indian society, Indian culture, and to bring about narratives, but mostly to bring about change. Like every film does its job. Mayura's film, Ramna's film, Arun's film, Sunday, which was incredible as well. All the films that are playing, Kaala, Tarun's film, everyone. I feel that it's very
Yeah.
important that this that films like
Yeah,
this
even I
need to
have watched all the films.
right. So I think it, and not only in Indian competition, but I feel in the international section, animation, all the films are incredible. So congrats to BISFF for the incredible programming, and I hope festival like this keeps on reaching the many more years in the future. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you so much.
ma'am,
Good to hear that.
Thank you.
ma'am, hello.
Yeah, yes, Ram,
Yeah,
you can speak.
மேம், நான் வந்து மயூரா மேமோட ஃபிலிம் பார்த்தேன். அந்த படம் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. ஈவன் அவங்க பீரியட்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு ஃபோன் அட்மாஸ்பியர், ஈவன் அவங்க வந்து எனக்கு என்ன ஆர்ட் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்னா என்னன்னு தெரியாது, எதுவுமே தெரியாதுன்னாங்க. ஆனா அவங்க ப்ராப்பரா அவங்களோட ஃபிலிம்ல அந்த பீரியட்ஸ் வந்து அழகா கன்வே பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. ரொம்ப அழகா இருந்துச்சு. ஈவன் அந்த டைல்ஸ் கூட பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஓல்டு டைப்லாம் செலக்ட் பண்ணி எனக்கு என்னோட சைல்ட்ஹுட் அப்படியே ஞாபகப்படுத்துச்சு. ஈவன் இந்த சக்திமானோட பேக்ரவுண்ட் மியூசிக் எல்லாமே எனக்கு ரொம்ப இதா இருந்துச்சு. அதே மாதிரி அவங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி சிங்கிள் ரூம் வந்து ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச படம். நல்லா ரொம்ப நீட்டா ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. ஈவன் வந்து ஹங்கிரியோட அதுவும் நல்லா பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. கதத்தாவோட படமும் நீட்டா பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. நிறைய விஷுவல்ஸ் வந்து அவர் நிறைய ஷார்ட்ஸ் வந்து போட்டிருந்தாங்க. நிறைய, அதாவது உண்மையிலே ரியலி குட் ஃபார் பெங்களூர் இன்டர்நேஷனல் ஃபிலிம் ஃபெஸ்டிவல். நல்ல குட் மூவிஸ் எல்லாமே நான் பார்த்த எல்லா படங்களுமே ரொம்ப ஒவ்வொரு விஷயத்துல இன்ஸ்பயர் ஆகி ரொம்ப சூப்பரா பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. தேங்க்ஸ் டு பெங்களூர் இன்டர்நேஷனல் ஃபிலிம் ஃபெஸ்டிவல்.
Thank you, Ram. So Mayura, he was telling that he loved your film, the way you've shot it. He
Yeah, I
has also
understood in
noticed
bits and pieces.
yeah, he also noticed the old tiles and the old setup of your film. And Tathagata, he also told that your visuals are wonderful, and he loved
Thank
your
you,
film
Ram.
also. He also mentioned about
Thank you,
Oru
Ram.
Single Room.
Thank you.
So he also liked all those things. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
We
much.
will please watch all the films and in all the sections, not only in Indian, all the sections, and encourage all the filmmakers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Bye.
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 Okay, so that was our roundtable with filmmakers. So hope you all enjoyed this session. You can also donate to our filmmakers. Every donation helps and encourages our filmmakers, and a small part of it goes to a non-profit organization called Vidyaniketan. So please donate and encourage all our filmmakers. And we also have many other sessions today with filmmakers with other sections like international animation, Karnataka, and inclusion. So please watch all of them and encourage all our filmmakers. This is Anagha from Team BISF. Goodbye.